Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we're gonna dive into some newer makeup releases, and I'm gonna help you make a decision on if it's gonna be worth your coin or not. There have been a ton of new releases, and I do want to update you on my thoughts on some of the newer releases and other releases I've tried. Make sure you grab a snack, grab something to drink, and let's get into the video. Let's start off with these from Rare Beauty. These are their new liquid contours. Now, I have seen a lot of mixed opinions on these right here, and I have tried these thoroughly, okay? Every time I do my makeup, I like to use at least one of these shades or both of these shades, and personally, I really like this formula. I think it's a great formula. I think it's easy to blend. I definitely can see where there are a few gaps in the shade range where we could use some more shades. What I have noticed from Rare Beauty in the past is, you know, when people put out their concerns on shade ranges and needing more shades, the brand doesn't really seem to have a problem with adding those shades within the line. She does it all the time with the blushes. She just did it with her liquid highlighters. So I'm really hoping that, you know, the concerns that people are having about the tones and how they pull on certain skin tones is addressed, and we do get more shades. But as far as the formula goes, beautiful formula. I think this formula is great for beginners. Certain shades have a little bit more pigment than others, but you still can sheer it out if you need to. You can really blend it out. I would say start with one dot first and build it up with another dot. Don't go in super heavy when you first apply it. This right here from Fenty Beauty, 10 out of 10. I have literally no complaints about this setting spray at all. This is so good. I need to slow down with this setting spray because every time I do my makeup, I put on this setting spray. Mine is running very, very low. Truly, I feel like this could be even bigger than 3.4 fluid ounces. But if you want a setting spray that's gonna make your makeup look more natural, more skin-like, this is perfect. This also does a great job at helping the longevity of your makeup. I cannot say that enough. When I tell y'all I have really put this setting spray to the test, it is so good. The mister, so fine. Such a fine mist. This doesn't have any fragrance to it at all. There's no alcohol in here. Honestly, this is the ideal setting spray, truly, and this is by far one of my favorite products from Fenty. We all know the lip products is top tier, but when it comes to products for the face, this is by far one of my favorites from them. Definitely in my top 5 from Fenty when it comes to complexion products, because the way that this setting spray does wonders for my makeup, no complaints. We have this concealer from Made by Mitchell. Now, we are finally getting more products in the US from Made by Mitchell. We have a ton of new products as well that I'm really excited about that we actually have access to. And this is one of them. This is his brightening concealer, and y'all, this concealer is so beautiful on the skin. Now, I tried his bulk concealer. That concealer is very radiant, so if you like radiant, glowy concealers, you might like that. But if that's not your vibe, try the brightening concealer because the way that this just melts into the skin, it is so beautiful. And concealer is one of those products that really does make or break your makeup. Coverage on this is amazing. It doesn't look cakey. I have it on right now, and when I tell y'all my under eyes look flawless, not kidding. I do want to get a brighter shade than this. The shade that I have is MBR4, but I definitely want to go even brighter. It also has a great coverage too. You get a lot of product in here. You get 0.504 fluid ounces. This thing is huge. So this is going to last you a really, really long time. We have this product right here from One Size. This is the base thinner. Now this product is intended to help thin out your other full coverage foundations, help sheer them out and really adjust the coverage. And I think that is such a really cool product that you really don't see a lot of brands coming out with. Leave it to One Size to give us products that you really don't see a lot on the market. Honestly, if at all, I don't use this product often, but if this is something that you really feel like you could use in your collection, I think it's a great product, and I think that it does what it's intended to do, which is to take your full coverage foundations, make it medium coverage, make it light coverage, but it is one of those products that really would come in handy if this is something that you really want in your collection. Let's talk about the Makeup by Mario glosses. Now, I have been really trying these out, using them every chance that I get. The applicator is not my favorite. The applicator doesn't really hold enough product on it, and all the product that you get sits in this middle pocket right here. You have to constantly dip into the tube to get more product. For that reason, it makes me not want to reach for these, but these are not cheap glosses, okay? These are not cheap at all, so I really want to get my money's worth. That would be the one thing I would want to change about this gloss is the applicator. I just feel like we need a little bit more that comes out on the applicator. It becomes a hassle for me personally. I know that there are some people out there who want a gloss that you can definitely build up. So I get it. I understand it. I get it. You don't want a lot of gloss at once, but I just feel like this truly does not hold literally any gloss on this applicator. The formula is a thinner formula. The shine is beautiful. They are so shiny. So if you're looking for a gloss that has that shine, these. But I will say these are also not the most long-lasting glosses. I know that's probably weird to say, but there are some glosses that really will stay on a while. Like the Fenty Gloss Bombs, those will stay on quite a while. After a while, you put on a gloss, and then, you know, 30 minutes later, it's like, where'd it go? That's this gloss right here. The Plumping Gloss Serums are truly my favorite lip product from him, next to the lip liners. So I would say honestly go for those over these because they just last longer, they have a cooling sensation, and they really give that wet shine look on the lips. These I feel like are more for short-term use. If you like a more thinner, buildable gloss, you might like these. Natasha Denona High Blushes, these love, 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 love. This is her best cheek formula she's ever come out with. I need her to keep this formula. Don't touch it, don't change it, don't do nothing. Keep this formula because she nailed it. She absolutely nailed this formula. I picked up 2 shades. This is the shade Flustered, which is so beautiful. I love Flustered. I also picked up Vamped. I use both of these honestly equally. And in these, you get a cream blush and a cream highlighter. They're more like a cream to powder kind of formula. They're very buildable. And I'm not a cream highlighter kind of girl, but I have absolutely been reaching for these cream highlighters. I think they look wet on the skin. They look beautiful. They just melt perfectly into the skin. They don't sit on top of the skin. Y'all, this formula, very, very good. Honestly, everything I've tried in her High Glam line, like the High Glam Concealer. Now we have the High Blushes. The formula is just so good. She better not change it. I hope she doesn't change it. We have some eyeshadow palettes in here. I'm definitely trying to do a nice little mixaroo of products and not just talk about the same category. I kind of wanted to switch it up. But we have this palette right here from Blinged Bunny and Robert Walsh. This palette is so beautiful. I love, love, love this palette. I haven't really been able to tap into it as much as I want to, but every look that I've created with this palette, I've loved. This is a very different color story, but it's really, really pretty. I love the tones in here, and every look that I've created with this palette, I've absolutely loved. I've more so gravitated to just the mattes. I used this shimmer, but that's the only shimmer I've used in the palette. I've really just been using the mattes to create all matte looks, but I love this palette. Definitely one of my favorite collabs Blinged Bunny has ever done thus far. Yeah, I think this is my favorite collab she's done. I just love the tones in here. I'm so happy I got it. It's the same Blinged Bunny formula I know and love. So yeah, and the packaging is so pretty. Let's talk about these from Urban Decay. These are the Face Bond Luminizers. There are 2 different formulas within these. There's one that looks really glittery, has a lot of shimmer, and then there's another one that's a little bit more subtle. Like this one is Space Cowboy. Wow, I put out a lot. This one is Space Cowboy. It's a lot more subtle of a highlighter. You don't really see glitter in this one. And then you have a shade like this one, which is Over the Top, which is very glittery, very reflective. Now this formula, I would mix in with body oils or lotions. This formula, I would use a little bit more on the face. I prefer to mix the less shimmer one within like my moisturizer or things like that for a little bit of glow. I really wouldn't put it straight onto the face bare. I feel like these are better mixed in with other products so you can really get the full effect of these. Otherwise, if you go in with the glittery one, you're just gonna have glitter on the face. If you go in with the more subtle one, it's not really gonna melt into the skin. It's kind of gonna sit on the face. So I just found, for me personally, I prefer to mix these with other products. Juvia's Place came out with new longwear lip liners. Love these. The shade range is beautiful. Such a beautiful shade range. These last a very long time. Every day when I'm on the film sets, I am wearing one of these lip liners because I know it's going to last all day. All I'll have to reapply is like my center lip shade, my gloss, whatever I have on for the day. But I don't have to worry about reapplying these lip liners because they're not going anywhere. Even when I eat, these are still left. I absolutely prefer this formula over the Luxe formula. Next up, we have the Milk Hydro Grip Gel Tints. I really like this formula. I also did a wear test on my own time. I wore this to work on set, and when I tell y'all, my skin looked so good. Mind you, I had to heavily set this with powder, but that is because this is a dewy formula and I do have combo skin, so I really do have to account for that. I have no problems wearing this on a long day. If I just want something really lightweight, something that looks more natural, this is perfect. It's also jam-packed with a lot of skincare as well. But Milk did an amazing job with the skin tint. Really, really beautiful. I do have a video up trying these out if you want to check that out, as well as some short form content using this. So definitely go and check that out if you want to see, you know, these applied. Juvia's Place Cream Blushes. I had every intention on creating a dedicated video with these blushes, but honestly, time just got away from me, so I'm just sharing my thoughts in here. I have a video up as well as short form content up using these blushes, but I will say the shade range, again, beautiful. I feel like that's one thing we really don't have to worry about with Juvia's Place is the shade range. Look at how deep this is. It's so beautiful. I think these are great cream blushes. My only thing is, for me personally, I have to set this down. It stays wet, it stays dewy, but if you set this with a powder, you'll be fine. These have a lot of pigment as well. I wouldn't say it has as much pigment as the liquid blushes, but it still has quite a bit of pigment to these. My only thing is I would absolutely set these with a powder. Speaking of blush, we have these two new blush shades from Patrick Ta. So this one is She Knows Who She Is. It's one of my most used blushes in my collection because the way that I live for a burnt terracotta, y'all, a burnt terracotta blush hates to see me coming. I use the powder more than the cream. A part of me wishes that Patrick Ta would come out with the powders and the creams separate. I know that's a very unpopular opinion, but honestly, as a consumer, cost-wise, it's better to get both in one, so I get it. That's just something that would be really nice to see. It doesn't need to be the same blush shades, but it would be nice to see some powder blushes on their own in different shades. Just a thought, you know? I don't think he'd do it because, you know, this is going really well, but you know, you never know. I really love this blush shade. If you love burnt terracottas, you're gonna love this one. And then we also have the red blush shade. I thought that I would use the red blush shade more than I use the burnt terracotta, but that's just not the case. I reach for the burnt terracotta more. I love this blush shade though. It's really pretty. I will say I did discover that the cream and this blush shade is very, very sheer. You do not get a lot of pigment at all, which I do think was very purposeful, but I don't really reach for the cream in this one often. I'll go in with another red blush, cream or liquid, and then top it with the powder. These have a ton of pigment. Definitely tread lightly when you use these. We have the One Size Stage White Powder Foundation. If you want a bright under eye, a very targeted bright under eye, this is definitely the product to reach for. It's very blurring. Go in with a brush really lightly, but if you like a bright under eye, and I'm talking bright, this is that product. Next up, we have this palette from Sigil Beauty. This is the Galactic Visitor palette. This is such a beautiful palette. There's depth in here. There's pastels as well. It doesn't have a lot of midtones. I do feel like it leans more either really dark with depth or really light with pastels. But the shimmers, y'all, oh my gosh, these shimmers, I cannot get over. Like, I truly cannot get over these shimmers in this palette. I love the formula of this. I really can't wait to see what other color stories we get from Sigil Beauty because this one is really pretty. What really stood out to me the most though was the formula on this and how easy it was to blend out the shadows. Also the packaging, beautiful, so beautiful. We have this collab from Blend Bunny. This collab is with Lens and Glisten Cosmetics. This palette right here is a cake liner palette. Y'all know I love my graphic liners. It's one of my favorite things to do. So fun. I feel like I should have done blue today. I feel like I kind of went a little bit more monochromatic with my look. I really love this. I know this is definitely going to come in handy for me in the summertime. If you're a cake liner person, this palette truly has everything you could need. And look at how big the white is. So it's perfect. We also have the eyeshadow palette side. This is really fun, perfect for spring. Another really pretty palette, and I love it. It is the Blend Bunny formula that I know and love. This is also a really fun and cool collab as well. All right, guys, so that is it for today's video. I really do hope this video was helpful. Thank you all so much for watching. I would absolutely love to know your thoughts on any of these products. If you've tried them, how you feel about them, let your girl know down below, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye, guys.